But imagine a day we can print houses, like you print your letters, like you print your thesis document. Imagine a day we can begin to print houses at 1/10 of the cost of building it and in less than 24 hours. Imagine a day if I said to you that by integrating biomedical, clinical, and scientific data, a layman, we can predict the onset of diseases, identify unwanted drug interactions that we see, automate and personalize diagnosis and therapy. Imagine a day if I say to you that by using autonomous technologies, we can have our cars drive safely and securely without the danger, or at least mitigating the danger of traffic accident caused by human error. Finally, imagine a day that by integrating emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence enabled learning techniques, and inverted or flipped classrooms, we can achieve personalized, outcome-based education for each student. Now, all of these applications and advances I talked about, they are not science fiction. In fact, some people in this audience can attest that every one of these scenarios are possible. At least to some extent, we can do most of them today. And that has been as a result of advances that we've seen in science and technology over the last couple of years. Today, in some cases, computational technologies are outperforming even the most experienced human beings. Studio. Fact number one. Can you show the screen? Studio? No? We'll pass through that. Fact number one. House building. Go to the building. Just show the building. House building, generally speaking, the one before this. House before this, please go back. Yes, okay, thank you. Has changed little since human beings began to stack blocks and make shelters. Most homes today still require teams of workers to add layers of blocks and other materials to build, and it's all done manually. The method heavily relies on individual skills, producing large amount of waste and noise, pollution, takes time and yields low productivity. The 3D printing approach, however, promises to build houses faster, cheaper. And when we talk about faster, we're talking about 24 hours. And I'm talking about a cost less than 1/10. Please go back. The house you see there is a house printed in China in 24 hours. And people are living inside it. In China, for example, they already 3D printed a complete 6-story apartment building. Can you show the building again? And this building was printed, no, the next one, was printed in 72 hours for less than $65,000. 6-story building. The Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates once declared that by 2030, a quarter of all the buildings in Dubai will be 3D printed. Almost all major shoe companies, maybe some of you are wearing 3D printed shoes right now, have 3D printing of their shoes. It is believed that by the end of this year, new smartphone will have 3D printing capabilities. You can then 3D scan your feet and print your perfect shoe at home. Airplanes spare parts are already 3D printed in remote airports. Show the restaurant, please. The next, please. That is Food Inc. London, the first 3D food printing restaurant, whereby they print your food in the color you want it, in the size you want it, in the texture that you want it. Next to it again. And that's the machine. You put it, and then, I don't know whether some of you will eat it, but they're eating it. Now, the price of these machines have come down from $18,000 to now $400 in less than 10 years. But interestingly, it has gotten 100 times faster than it used to be. It is projected that by 2027, 10% of everything that are being produced will be 3D printed. Fact number 2, the tricorder prize, the next place, is done. The $10 million competition was aimed at incentivizing companies that will develop a sci-fi medical device called the tricorder from Star Trek. I'm sure that class of 2020, you know Star Trek. That works with your phone, which takes your retina scan, your blood sample, not drawing a lot of blood, just a tip of your blood, and you breathe into it. It then analyzes 54 biomarkers that will identify nearly any disease. Each device must be able to diagnose 15 different medical conditions and monitor vital signs for 72 hours. They plan that it will be cheap. So in a few years, everyone in this planet will have access to world-class healthcare, almost for free. Can you show that is Spock? That is a live tricorder from Frontier Medical Devices. It is available today. It will accurately diagnose 13 health issues, health conditions on diseases, and capture 5 real-time health vital signs independent of healthcare worker or hospital facility, and in a way that provides a compelling consumer experience. Show the next one. That another one. The same, this one is from CloudX. So these are available today. Fact number 3. In 2018, first self-driving cars started operation in the public. These are cars that are driven all across. It simply means that you don't want to own a car anymore. You will call a car with your phone. It will show up at your location, drive you to your destination. You don't need to park it. You only pay for the driven distance and can be productive while you drive. Car parking spaces can now be transformed into good parks or something better. Our children may never get a driver's license and may never want to own a car. Data available says that about 1.2 million people die each year in car accidents worldwide. That is one accident for every 100,000 kilometers. With autonomous driving, that would drop to one accident to 10 million kilometers. That would save at least 1 million lives every year. Most car companies might become bankrupt. Traditional car companies will try to evolve, but high-tech companies like the Teslas of this world and Apple will do the revolutionary thing and build computers on wheels. Can you go back first? You can see some cars. That is Apple car. That's cars moving in Canada. That's Apple car, and that's their CEO, and that is Tesla car. These are all autonomous drivers. No driver, you call it, it picks you up, takes you to where you're going, and that is it. Insurance companies will have massive problems because without accidents, their insurance will become 100% cheaper. Their car insurance business model will disappear. Real estate will change because if you can walk while you commute, people will move further away to live in more beautiful and safer environments. I can go on, but we don't have the time. So welcome to the fourth industrial revolution. Welcome to the exponential age. So how does this affect higher education? And that's a problematic thing for me, that most of our universities are remarkably complacent and unaware of the looming threat over their fiefdoms. Why? Waiting in the wings are well-funded high-tech companies. Looking at you, the university, sitting on a $4.6 trillion global education market. Now tell me if that isn't a target worth disrupting. Education is no longer just for your citizens. It is now a global franchise. The pandemic, at least, showed us that. CU told us exactly what's happened. During the pandemic, students were still going to school. People were able to study from unimaginable distances. The first disruption started in 2011 in the education sector. 2011, when the MOOC came on board. MOOC means Massive Open Online Courses, started by Stanford University. 120,000 students. 120,000 students was worldwide registered for it. Yes, some may say, well, it wasn't a success because only 2% completed the course. But wait a minute. It was an eye-opener for the world on how they can actually educate their teeming population. It was an eye-opener. Let's, for a minute, step back at here and see you. Every single year we have thousands and thousands of students apply for education. We can only take 1,500. I think this year we took about 1,700 and something. But we can only take that because that's what we can take. Who is going to train the rest of those? Because it's not, we didn't take them not because they're not qualified, but because we don't have space for them. Who is going to take them? So Coursera's of this world, the EDS, the Udacity, has all started to develop courses using new method of data gathering on every single learner they have in using all the learners to generate the data. And all of these big data are informing much more accurate algorithms. And these algorithms are outputting online classes, which are adjustable, reliable, individualized, personalized, and able to move with the need of the student, able to set the bar just high enough. That is a challenge, but it's not crushing. Frankly, they turned the education into a fun game. Into a fun game. That is, making it to be fun, engaging, and challenging at the same time. Just like the game that they spend their hours trying to play. Can we come up with an incentive like that for regular classes? I'm not sure. Truth is that universities are not anymore in the business of providing information. Universities are supposed to be in the business of telling people how to interpret information and working with them to understand their world. And yet these new courses, which are powered by really excellent machine learning, are doing precisely that. Truly, I am not in any way trying to depress anyone, quite the contrary. If someone told you that the world will be facing a lockdown in 2020, 2 years before, you would never believe it, but it happened. Technological innovations have always disrupted the status quo, and they are here to stay. We have to embrace it. We can't wish it away. Disruption is good. If it is not, God will not be involved with it. He's the author of new things, isn't it? The Bible says in the book of Isaiah 43:19, behold, I'll do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Rivers in the desert. The New Testament disrupted the Old in a good way. In a good way. The curtains were torn into twain, and every one of us now can have access to the Holy of Holies. Unlike before, only Moses can enter. Then now every one of us can enter. Praise the Lord. That is disruption. Now, you say, but disruption is likely going to destroy businesses and destroy lives. Well, that's correct. If Jesus enters a city of winemakers, they will be bankrupt because Jesus' wine will be sweeter, more healthier because it's just water. Right? No fermentation and no chemical required. If Jesus enters your city or state for 1 year, all doctors and nurses, pharmacists will be out of business. Because he heals all. It doesn't remain. He heals all. It disrupts your business. Babalawo, Mamalawo, all of them will be out of business. Praise God. Now, in Acts of the Apostle, when they saw Paul was getting too much, they had to arrange for him. Right? Seek the liberation mandate, how it thoroughly disrupted poverty and gave the church a glorious identity today. Now, I don't know, maybe you see when you want to go back and be called a church as poor as a church mouse. But thank God we're in the era today of the high palaces of churches, isn't it? Even CU is a disruptor. True? VC is a disruptor in education in the country. So it's good. However, there is still a greater pressure today for higher education as an engine of progress for any country. Therefore, we need to be smart and strategic in the way we deliver education in the 21st century. We all know and are aware that these technical advances have had and will continue to have profound impact on society. It will impact and affect almost every occupation. So we must be ready. Relearn a couple of things if we have to be part of the new era. Change in structure and pedagogy, that is the principles and method of instruction in our universities, is inevitable. 1088, the first University of Bologna was started. That's centuries ago. We are still almost teaching the same way we do as in 1088. Fundamentally, we have not changed the way we teach since that time. And one question that has been coming up for a while is, will universities last forever? And look at the unfolding era. I read this in quickly. Google has a plan to disrupt the college degree. Google's new certificate program takes only 6 months to complete and will be a fraction of the cost of college. Now, Google made this announcement that could change the future of education. Now, they are saying that, however, instead of taking years to finish, Like a traditional university degree, their courses are going to design to be completed in about 6 months. The 6-month course is estimated to cost just about $300, less than what they buy to buy their textbooks today in traditional universities. The 3 new programs that they are looking at is, for example, project management, which they are taking about 100,000 students, and each of them can earn about $93,000 a year as salary. That's for the project manager, the data analyst, 65, and then US designer, all that. Now, it is taught by Google's employees. They design the courses and they teach that. Now, with all this in our horizon, I think that our universities are going to have to scale back, not try to do everything, focus on the very thing that they do best, and not try to cover all topics. I also think that the universities are going to have to figure out how to change their business model in this new ecosystem. For example, our universities should become global universities, providing courses just in time for lifelong learners, on schedule that lifelong learners can handle. Some of them may be in person and some can be at a distance. This era also presents an immense opportunity, especially for those who get it right. Statistics shows that in the next 3 years, 3.3 billion people globally are going to become part of the global middle class with very little money, but hungry for education. By 2030, that's going to be 4.8 billion people. 4.8 billion people. Universities can only serve millions. As you can see, because of our limited space, we can only serve millions, but a global university can serve the billions who want to go forward and educate themselves. Our universities can latch onto this and get ready to serve the billions that are coming. It is possible. CU can also champion this cause because of what you already have. This is what you have started. I'm thinking that also the board should give CU management and staff a task of training at least 1 million people in the next 5 years. And it is possible. As I begin to close, the CU mandate, as I read it every time during this preparation, the CU mandate number 1 basically summarizes all I have been talking about in this past couple of minutes. God is in the future, and the future is in Him. Let's try to unwrap mandate number 1 briefly. And that mandate says, raise a new generation of leaders through a qualitative and life applicable training system that focuses on value and skills development. New generation of leaders that think differently, solution-based leaders, thinking outside the box leaders, leaders that believe that there are better and optimal ways to do what is being done today to get better results. Leaders that are not afraid to explore, innovate, and create. These leaders are not satisfied with status quo. Life applicable, this is the CU mandate. Life applicable training system. Not the traditional, but life applicable training so that people can apply on their day-to-day lives. Life applicable training system that makes the graduate hit the workforce running. Businesses are tired of retraining supposedly trained graduates. The students are being trained all right, but they cannot apply most of the things they learn in the work environment. And it's truly not the fault of the student, not the lecturer, it's the system. A system that is long broken and nobody wants to change it. So we have to continue to do for computer science, Fortran, and Pascal that nobody uses. Now, I know in CU we're not doing that. But if you go to some other universities in Africa, they do that. They see three. Pascal. Focus on value. Focus on value. Truly, how can you teach management and business courses if you actually haven't run a business, whether successful or unsuccessful, it doesn't matter. And I believe this where it brings an attention whereby there need to be a lot of collaboration between the industry, the business world, and our universities. They are always two apart. The university professors should be able to go in with the students to some industries and come out with solutions to their problem. And they can go and say, look, we have developed this system. We have looked at the challenges in this industry sector. And we have solved it with our students. So our students, when you take them on, they will solve this problem for you. And I think that is the way for us to go. Focus on value. Can our curriculum look a little bit different? Like, how do we solve world hunger? How do we cure cancer? How do we cure sickle cell? How do we build cheaper houses? How do we educate 1 million students this year? Can it be such things that are really, you're thinking about value you can actually give out to the society? Because that's what the society is looking for. And finally, say focus on skill development. This may not sound politically correct and tactful, but fortunately, I'm not a politician. There is nothing truly today you are going to teach a student that he cannot find on the internet. One of the main criticisms of higher education all through the years has been that universities don't properly equip students with the real world skills they need in the workplace. We therefore need to seriously rethink what is taught in school entirely, and perhaps teach less content, opening more time and opportunities to skill development, just like we see in our mandate. If you look at the CU foundation philosophy, it says, a departure from form to skill, a departure from knowledge to empowerment, a departure from figures to future building, from legalism to realism, from point to facts, from mathematics to lifematics. Things that actually apply to people's life directly. And that's what I believe that we should be aiming as universities, in this new era to begin to focus on. With what I've said in this discussion, if we can apply the CU mandate across board and in detail, we are on our way to reposition our universities in Africa and closing the gaps that may exist. Truly, the future is here. All the educational components and all the technical components are in place. It is just for us to run with it. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2 says, and the Lord answered me and said, write a vision and make it plain upon a table, that he may run that readeth it. It is time for run. We can't wish it away. We need to take action. Thank you.